Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Melanie and my channel is Melanie Loves Mexico. For those of you who have watched before and my subscribers, thank you so much. It shocks me every time I get views or questions that people actually take the time to watch what I'm doing. So I really appreciate that. And for those of you that are new, welcome as well. A little bit about me. I started doing these videos, vlogs, just after the pandemic. As a Canadian, not being able to travel during the pandemic was very difficult for me, as someone that goes to all-inclusives a fair bit. And I really missed it and kind of stumbled into a community. Just one day was bored at home and missing travel. So I started watching YouTube vlogs about people traveling and going to resorts, and I just thought, wow, like this is such a great community and such a great resource. So I said, when I got to travel again, I would start doing them. I'm certainly not a professional. If you've watched any of my other videos, I'm not good at editing. I'm not the greatest at filming, but I try and I like to share my thoughts, and I just hope it's helpful for people. So it is February of 2026 and I'm kind of unexpectedly in Mexico. Anyone that watched my last vlog in November from Ocean Riviera Paradise, I said I hoped to get away this winter, but I didn't think it was really, to be honest, very likely. My husband Dave has a really busy winter, and so do I with work. My friends, both named Jen, who have been on, well, they're not in the vlogs, but I've talked about them in vlogs before. They had both said that they just weren't able to travel this winter. So I'd accepted, I wasn't going anywhere until June. I actually have a trip to Mexico booked in June, which I normally wouldn't have done already if I knew I was going to be traveling somewhere in the winter. But last minute, they sort of just said, hey, maybe we can go away, and I'm nothing if not easy to convince. So here we are. So that is kind of how we ended up here at the Seadust Family Resort in the Cancun hotel zone. So this is not a resort I probably would have selected if I had more, planning time and wasn't looking for really specific things for this trip. So I wasn't really sure if I was going to record it, but I actually have liked things about it more than I expected. And just to kind of back up as to why we selected it, because you're probably saying, if you've watched my other videos, Melanie, you like adults only properties, and I do. But we are only here for 5 nights. This, as I said, was a very last minute decision. We booked this maybe, I don't even think it was 3 weeks before we came. We were looking for something in the hotel zone, something all-inclusive, something that wasn't very expensive, and that had a room category that was big enough for 3 of us to share comfortably. Because I don't know about you, but as you get older, sharing a room with friends is fun for a night or two, but sharing a bed with friends or having a really cramped space it's a little much for me, and I think my friends, especially my one friend, probably feels that even more strongly than I do. So this resort just sort of fit all of those bills, despite being family friendly and not having, any sort of adult section. Now, to be fair, when I booked this, they did say they had an adult pool. It still shows that on a lot of websites, so they really need to kind of figure that out, but they've actually changed it to a pool for their Infinity members. I don't know if we would have used it, maybe. I'll get into the maybe a little bit as we walk, but so yeah, that was a bit disappointing because it's a little bit misleading, but nonetheless, not the hugest deal. So that's how we chose this resort. As I said, we're here for 5 nights. This is our last full day, and I'm hoping this is actually going to be the nicest day. We have had, much like everywhere in the world, we're in, North and South Central America and Mexico and Cuba, the Caribbean. It's very cold, very cold. Now, when we left Toronto, it was minus 19, and I'll let my American friends do the conversion on that because I'm not that smart. It was very cold. Here it has been about, on average, 20 to 21 degrees, but very windy, and quite cool at night. So I get better at the conversion that way. It's probably about low 60s to low 70s for my American friends. So that's chilly for Cancun. Again, totally making the best of it. I'm about to get backed into here. Making the best of it because it's way warmer than at home, and I'd be at work if I was at home, and I'm not here. So, you know, small victories. So I'm going to, I've decided to do this. I'm hopefully going to do this in 2 parts. This isn't a huge resort, but there's a lot in this resort that honestly, it doesn't interest me per se, but I do think that obviously it's a family resort, so people watching this are probably like, I have a family, I'd like to see the family stuff. I think I'm going to do it in 2 parts. I think today I'm just going to do a walkthrough of the main areas and kind of share my thoughts about the resort as a whole, and then I'm going to try to do a separate video kind of highlighting just the family areas. The family areas are a little bit, it would be a very long walk of just to add to a regular, it's kind of a weird setup, but we'll go over that more as we go. So that's enough of me for now. Let's head in and look at Seadust Family Resort. So this is the main lobby, and then just looking out onto the main road that runs up and down the hotel strip. That is the new over there, Vivid Grand Islands and Dreams. I'm not really sure what they're calling the Dreams Resort. I think it's open now. Hyatt Vivid definitely is. That one is on my list, so it's kind of been interesting to see it. I'd still like to stay there, but I feel like part of the reason I like staying in the hotel zone is just the ease of getting out onto the road and taking the bus or grabbing a cab. And from what I can see of that one, even though it looks quite close, it's kind of set back from the road. I feel like it would be quite a hike to get out to the road. So we'll see. So I'm just gonna come in here. So as we're going in, the one thing I'm going to say off the top about this resort is I have never been to a resort in Mexico or the Caribbean anywhere that doesn't take advantage of the fact that they're on the ocean. This resort is, like, once we get into the main part, it was, I believe, built to look like a cruise ship, and it was until recently called Great Parnassus, and it does look like a cruise ship. I've also heard people say it looks like a prison, which was hard to unsee once I saw that. But I will kind of get into that a little bit more as we go. So over here, there's an elevator up to the spa. I've not seen the spa, so I can't really comment on that. And then this little hallway here, that takes you to most of the kids stuff and the Mexican restaurant. It is a very long, I'll kind of just show you quickly. It's a very long, not like loud corridor to walk down to get to where the water park and the there's like a kids club, I think. If there's a better way to get there, I haven't found it. The Mexican restaurant is also down there, which I'm kind of sad we haven't tried, and maybe we will try to do that today, or maybe lunch tomorrow. That resort over there is the Iberostar, which is kind of an iconic Cancun landmark when you're driving down the strip. So just to kind of give you an idea. So this resort is kind of on the airport side of the strip, so at the bottom of the 7. That's where you check in. There's seating here in the lobby, and this, I'm gonna just say, this is the nicest view that you're going to get in this resort unless you're completely outside, which again is a little weird. So this is the first bar that's in the kind of main area. This is the lobby bar. It opens at 10 every morning. It's very underused. You don't see very many people in there, ever. Over here is the coffee shop. It opens at 7, and I think it's open until 10. It's good coffee. They make good lattes and stuff. As you see, we've been passing, there's lots of little stores in here. The prices aren't I mean, they're not good, but they're not terrible for a resort. So this is the Samurai, which is like the Japanese restaurant. We've eaten here twice. So far, it's actually, the food here has been quite good. I don't love the buffet, but I don't love buffets at the best of times. But the a la carte restaurants at night have been good, and you don't actually need a reservation. So there's elevators over here, and then this is one of the ways you get outside. So again, as I mentioned, there's no grand vista here. Like, you're not going to walk in and be like wowed by the fact that you're in Mexico. But we'll go out closer to this is the Italian restaurant. We've eaten here too. This was okay. It was good. I found the service at this one a little bit lacking. They were quite busy and that night, and they were not happy about it. I'm just gonna say that. The food was pretty good though. So then here, I'm gonna go up. You can see here that what I meant about the style of it kind of trying to look like a cruise ship. But again, that said, it's dark in here. Like at night especially, if you're sitting in one of these little kind of bar areas, there's one here and then kind of oddly one right across there. You could be absolutely anywhere. You could be at a Holiday Inn in Buffalo, New York. You could be on a cruise ship. I mean, this week it's been cold, so don't get me wrong. It's been nice having these options of being indoors at night. But that said, I'd still like to look at the water or the beach or have it be brighter in here. This restaurant over here is called Manhattan. It's kind of like, they say it's like a deli restaurant. I kind of equate it more to kind of a bar and grill kind of at home. So they have quite a varied menu. We ate there last night and I actually really liked it. They do have a breakfast menu, but I've never seen anyone in there eating breakfast. It does look open this morning, so maybe they are going to open for breakfast. I'm not sure. So then this is the other bar that I said was just across from that one. Oddly, there's just a random Big Ben and a Arc de Triomphe over there. I haven't totally figured out why. Decorative, obviously, but they don't really seem to match anything. The restaurant over here is called Lighthouse. It is open for breakfast, but only for their Infinity members, which is, I guess, like their timeshare or upgraded service package kind of membership, which is a shame because it looks really nice in there and it's never busy. I don't think I've seen more than 20 people in there having breakfast. This one that I'm sort of passing now is the Steakhouse. I'm not sure I even know the name of this one, other than it's the Steakhouse. Maybe it's called Big Ben. Maybe that's why there's a Big Ben. Oh, you're learning with me here. I'm not sure. We're gonna try that tonight. My one Jen friend is a vegetarian, and this is the one restaurant that really doesn't have any vegetarian options. So I think what we'll probably do is grab a little pre-dinner somewhere so that then she can just have a salad and an appetizer, because they do have some salads and appetizers there, just no entrees. So later in the day, these carts open and they're kind of like little shops, obviously like kiosks. This is a very cute and underused little lounge. Actually, there's no one in there, so we'll go in. So when we were booking this resort, the photos made it look like there was always lots of food and stuff in here in these. My friend said she saw people eating salads yesterday, so I think maybe they're starting to use it a little bit more again, but it's very nice in here. Like if you wanted to come and just have somewhere quiet to sit. Oops, there's my finger. Quiet to sit and maybe do some work or catch up on something, it's a nice area for sure. I'm not gonna go in there, but that's the buffet. The buffet is, we've only been there for breakfast. I'm tough on buffets. I don't love them. It's okay. It's an odd layout. It's like they've put, like, the buffet, all the food is in the center, like in a big circle. So you kind of have to walk in a giant circle to get your food in little stations. I don't know. It's just, it's hard to explain, and I feel bad going in there and filming, but it's breakfast time and it's going to be busy. The food is decent. It's just by the time you get from one end of the circle to the other end of the other side of the circle, your food is cold and you can never really find where your friends are sitting because it's a giant circle. But so yeah, again, if I was them, and I know this, and they're probably not going to watch this and they don't care, but I would totally reconfigure this whole area as well, a little bit. I would possibly turn this into the main buffet, or move it forward and get rid of some of the lobby bar areas and move your lobby bar here, but like knock the back wall out or back windows out so that you have a view and some light, and that when you're here there's somewhere to sit that you can actually, whether you want to be inside or outside, that you can actually see the beautiful view I'm about to show you when we finally get outside. So we passed one, on both sides of the building there's like these little offshoot kind of, there's one that goes through this store to get outside. So we're gonna finally go outside. Well, we were outside to start. That was a bit dramatic, but you know what I mean. So again, it's, you know, very nice gardens and stuff, but we still haven't seen that, like a view of the ocean or the beach or anything, and we're getting there, I promise. So we're walking by the inside, that's the buffet that we just saw. It is very large, and that's why I'm saying I just feel like they could reconfigure the space to include a way to kind of bring the outside in and like show a view. And good morning. I can already tell you it is way nicer today than it has been any other morning. But yeah, finally, here we are. But like, look how pretty this is. This is a beautiful view. But you can't see it from anywhere. Again, I don't know. The new owners, I have no idea what they want to do with this resort, if they're okay with it is what it is. I mean, they do seem relatively busy, but I would, or at least make these windows more clear so you can actually, like, because even sitting in the buffet, you don't really see much. So this is one of the bar areas by the pool, and then there's a snack bar over there. The snack bar has like burgers, hot dogs, pizza, fries, kind of normal snack bar things. Here, I'm assuming this may have used to have been, I feel like they could put a swim up bar here. More ideas for you, Seadust, if you're listening to my ideas. Make this an adult pool, even though it's very shallow. So you might have to make it a little deeper and put a swim up bar there. Because that just seems like a wasted little building there. So the pool has like 3 tiers. I can't comment on if the pool is warm. I'm sure it hasn't been because it's been so cold out. I'm hoping today I'll get in the pool. I love pools, so and I love swimming, so the fact that I haven't been in a pool at all, or even touched the pool or the ocean, shows kind of that it has been quite chilly. It can be very windy here. Like, keep your stuff secured, because honestly, like, the one day, Monday, it was warm enough to sit out here and be in the sun, but you would blow away. The chairs were literally just like flying across the deck. This is another little bar. Lots of bars here. They do have top shelf liquor that I believe is just for the Infinity members. Last night I was just like friendly and I was tipping a little more, and I did get, like, not the highest, but I did get, you know, better alcohol served to me. So, you know, it's definitely doable, even though I'm thinking you're probably not supposed to. Yeah, definitely a much nicer day. So the beach is really pretty for walking. My one friend is out walking right now. I think she thought I was going to meet her, but instead I'm doing this and talking to you. Some people doing Tai Chi or yoga out here, which is nice. There is another bar under this. I don't know if they're using it right now, like a beach bar. I've been seeing people that are sitting on the beach or down at the beach coming up here. The security guy's quite worried about someone out here, but I can't figure out what. Tuck myself away here. So I'm going to end with this, not of my finger, but this beautiful view. So I'm going to say really quickly, when we booked this resort, my one friend, because she knows I book things and I research things a lot, and I really hadn't researched this one because it's, as I said, it's not somewhere that I normally, especially with my husband, would have stayed because of the whole complete family aspect of it. And she said, well, are you worried about it? And I said, I'm not worried. I'll show you. I'm not worried. I think it's going to be adequate. And it has been. And I think actually in many ways it's a little bit more than adequate. The food has been better than I would have expected. The drinks are generally quite good. The staff is very friendly, which, I mean, you come to expect in Mexico, so that's not surprising, but, and honestly, the fact that it's so centered around being indoors most of the time, it does kind of work this week because we've been so cold. On a day, I mean, and to be fair also, there's not many chairs though. These bars might be open later in the evening. It's been too cold to come out here to even really look. So we have been, by choice, sitting inside. But the things I don't like, I don't really love the setup. It is a bit tired. I'm going to do a room tour later today, and actually that's a positive. The rooms, you can get a family suite here that you could fairly easily fit 4 people in. Like, we have 3 adults, but for families, like, they've got a bunk bed, and you could fit your parents and 2 or 3 kids pretty easily. So that's nice. I'll go back this way. Show you some of the kid stuff. What else? Like, I would recommend this resort to people who are bringing kids and you're looking for something that's, a little bit more budget friendly. And you want to be kind of like close to the airport. The other thing I found, and this is just a random thought, there are a lot of people here. We must be very close to like dental offices and people getting like knee surgery. I've never seen so many people on crutches. So the point of that being, it's very centrally located. So this is another way you get back in, and this would take you in kind of right in front of the buffet. So this is kind of part of the kids area. They have a little zip line here. I haven't seen anyone zip lining. I read before we got here that it was closed. So maybe it is closed. I don't know, but it's kind of cool for little kids. It's like a little mini putt. They have, they've been having mini putt tournaments for kids most afternoons. So yeah, just in case I don't actually walk over and film the kids area, which I may or may not, I haven't totally decided, because I haven't used it. So it is actually a cute little water park. So they have, like, you know, a big bucket dumping thing. They have a few little water slides. It's kind of, as I said, it is isolated a little bit from the rest of the resort. I think if you have little children, like under 6, they would probably think that that was awesome, and they would be totally fine with being that kind of closed in and away from everything else. I think if you get kids that are older, one, it might be a little babyish for them, and also they might just be like, feel like, but I want to see the beach, I want to be in the main pool, and it's not close to those things. Okay, we'll go back in, and then I will finish this up. Oops. So we are right back in the lobby by the coffee shop, which is perfect because I'm going to get a coffee. I'm going to show you one other thing really quick. So up here on the first floor, there is an adult-only bar. My own lack of research, I assumed that bar was more like a nightclub and was open after the bars in this area closed. So the bars here close at 11. I believe the lobby bar does too. I wrongly assumed that the adult bar up on the first floor was for after that, and it stayed open later and was kind of like a nightclub. Apparently that's not the case. Apparently it is open the exact same times, like from 6 to 11. So I'm definitely going to go up there tonight before dinner and have a drink. I did notice that they have a very nice little patio. There's no chairs or anything out there, but they have a nice little patio that overlooks the lagoon. So I'm thinking it might be a nice place to watch the sunset. So if I get better at editing, I will take a picture and try to add some pictures of that area. From up there, you can also access, there are a tennis court, there's a basketball court, I think, and a soccer situation. It was a weird walk to get to those. Like, you kind of felt like you were just on an odd pathway going nowhere. So I'm not going to go up there, but those things do exist, and especially again for kids, great. So I think that's it for me for now. I will definitely do a room tour because I do think the room is a pretty cool setup for families and for adults traveling together. So I'm going to do that later today once it's been cleaned. But for now, that's it for me. If you have any questions about this resort or traveling to Mexico in general, please don't hesitate to ask. I love answering questions. I answer very quickly, or I try to. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much, and this is it from Seadust Family Resort for now.